The red-eyed man looks down at his feet. How pathetic. The white-haired man lying on the ground gasps for breath as blood gushes from his neck. He struggles to lift his head, looking toward the red-eyed man. Using every ounce of strength, he shouts, "Felix! I am your father!" Felix steps on the man's hand, crushing his fingers. A scream of agony tears through the air. Felix draws his short sword. The blade flashes with cold light. A smile curves at the corner of his mouth, the bloodstains on his face becoming more vivid. "When we meet again in hell, we'll renew our father-son bond." With that, he aims the blade at the white-haired man's throat. The blade cuts through flesh and severs the throat. A locket clinks as it falls into the pool of blood. Felix reaches out with his blood-stained hand and picks it up. He gazes at the locket in his hand, his expression dark and inscrutable. Inside is embedded a portrait of a woman. Felix's fingertips gently caress the portrait. "My dear Lily, these past 5 years without me, were you happy? I hope you can still smile from the heart just as before. Liliana Astra, the most beloved princess of the Edwin Empire. People say her eyes are the brightest stars in the night sky, the jewel of Edwin. She is deeply loved by her family." Liliana places a flower crown on her father's head as the family gathers around the tea table in the garden. She is adored by the people. Liliana leans out from the carriage, waving with a radiant smile. The crowd surges forward. "Your Highness, would you like some fresh fruit? Princess, please come have tea with us. She is blessed by the gods of love. It's been a while." "Princess, may I have this dance?" She is infinitely cherished by everyone. Yet love is a fragile thing. One day she is accused of murdering her sister. Emperor Reginald sits on his throne. "It's obvious you killed First Princess Victoria. Do you have anything to say in your defense?" Crown Prince Sebastian stands to the side. Queen Margaret holds Second Prince Alexander. The family looks at her with cold indifference. Liliana trembles all over. "Why is everyone looking at me like this? It wasn't me. I would never harm my sister." Queen Margaret's eyes are bloodshot. "What are you still pretending for? Just like your lowly mother. All you know is how to play the victim." Emperor Reginald covers his face with his hand. "Queen, that's enough." The queen roars in fury. "Why are you stopping me? The child I raised as my own repays me like this. It's too much." She rushes forward and slaps Liliana across the face. Tears stream down Liliana's face. "I really didn't do anything." The queen weeps. "My dear Victoria." Second Prince Alexander speaks up, pressing her. "The witness and evidence are all there. The poison was also found in her room." "Father, are you still going to protect this woman?" The emperor leans back wearily on his throne. He slowly opens his eyes and looks at Liliana. Liliana cries out in desperation. "Father, please believe me. This is a mistake." The emperor's face is filled with pain. He suddenly coughs up a mouthful of fresh blood. Blood spatters everywhere. His hand drops limply. Liliana's eyes widen in horror. Crown Prince Sebastian rushes toward the throne in shock, then turns to the guards. "Throw Liliana in the dungeon and await judgment." As the guards drag Liliana away, she still cries out, "Father!" Sebastian points his sword at her. "You still don't repent? Is father next on your list?" Liliana looks at him helplessly. "Brother?" Sebastian roars. "Don't call me brother! I don't have a sister as vicious as you!" The light in Liliana's eyes completely fades. "Why doesn't anyone believe me?" The guards drag her out of the hall. Liliana deserves death. Daily floggings until the verdict. The iron bars slowly descend, cutting off light and hope. The dungeon is cold and damp. Liliana curls up on the ground, her clothes ragged and bloodstained. Her ankles are shackled with iron chains. Footsteps echo in the darkness. A guard says, "Your Highness." "It's dangerous here." Sebastian waves his hand dismissively. "It's fine. I need to talk to Liliana. Alone." The guard bows and withdraws. Liliana thinks weakly, "More torture?" Sebastian looks at her. "My poor sister." Liliana crawls toward the bars. "Brother?" She grips the iron bars tightly. "How is father? Is mother all right? She must be so worried about me." Sebastian raises his hand to cover his face. "Father, he..." Liliana trembles. Sebastian suddenly bursts into wild laughter. "You truly live up to expectations. How amusing." He reaches through the bars and grabs Liliana's chin. "Don't you find it strange? Your kind brother suddenly changed. All of this is because of you and your mother. How does it feel to fall from heaven to hell? This is only the beginning. The people of Edwin all want you executed. The square is packed with people. Those who once shouted, 'Long live the princess,' now gather before the palace." Liliana is speechless. She collapses onto the ground. Sebastian continues. "I told them, although you're a criminal, you're my sister. I'll let you live and spend the rest of your life atoning for your sins. The people praise my mercy. They say I'll become a great ruler. Victoria's death finally has meaning, doesn't it?" Liliana lowers her head, her long hair covering her face. "Brother, why?" Sebastian's face contorts with rage as he grips the bars tightly. "I told you not to call me brother. Playing your kind brother makes me sick. I'm sick of your and your mother's stupidity. You killed my sister. You'll never know the truth. You were just asking about your mother, weren't you?" He chuckles softly. "Then let me tell you, your lowly mother has been hanged." Liliana's pupils contract. Sebastian grabs Liliana's hair. "No one will come to save you." He releases his grip. "Oh right, Felix came by too. If he were here, he'd surely save you, wouldn't he? But you broke his heart. You sent him back to Valhalla." Liliana clutches her head with both hands. She screams, "Stop torturing me. Let me die." Sebastian's voice is ice cold. "I said I'd let you live, but I want you to taste every bit of suffering. I won't forgive you. Want an easy death? You should taste the pain I've endured forward until now. He turns to leave. At least wait until your father wakes up. He dotes on you so much, after all. Sebastian looks back, a cruel smile playing at the corner of his mouth. But only if he can wake up, right, Liliana? Heavy footsteps echo down the dark spiral stone steps. Two maids look down into the dungeon. One of them speaks. Look at her, like a stray dog. She'll eat anything you throw at her. A piece of bread is tossed through the bars, landing on the cold stone floor. A maid covers her mouth, giggling softly. Here's your food, your favorite cocoa bread. Liliana lifts her head and crawls toward the bars with a vacant stare. Her hands tremble as she reaches for the cocoa bread. She grabs the bread and bites down without hesitation, devouring it ravenously. The two maids burst into sharp, mocking laughter at the sight. They cover their mouths, their bodies shaking with hysterical laughter. Liliana ignores everything and devours the bread frantically, as if it were the only treasure in the world. One maid furrows her brow. How many days has it been since the princess bathed? The stench is unbearable. Let's go quickly. It reeks. I'm going to be sick. The two maids walk up the dungeon stone steps, their footsteps fading. One speaks. Did you hear? There was a coup in Valhalla. The emperor was assassinated by his own son. Such a cruel story. They say that son is Felix, the man who was once imprisoned here. The other maid looks shocked. What? I thought he died long ago. Surviving in Valhalla is no simple feat. Edwin is truly a good country, isn't it? The crown prince has cared for his majesty for 5 years. So loyal. Liliana lifts her head. A flicker of emotion passes through her green eyes. Felix. She sits on the cold stone floor, clutching a piece of dry bread tightly. Her hollow gaze has no focus. A tear slides down and splashes onto her filthy sleeve. Her hands tremble. The bread falls to the ground. Felix's figure surfaces in her mind. Through the small window high on the wall, a sliver of light falls and illuminates the dungeon. Liliana lies on the ground, her long hair spread out like withered petals. Tears slide from the corners of her eyes, seeping into her dirty cheeks. It's been so long since I heard that name. I wonder how he's doing. Light filters through the iron window of the dungeon. Liliana lifts her head and shields her eyes from the glare. So bright. She sits up and gazes at the patch of light, her eyes dazed and hollow. She has been imprisoned for 5 years. At first, Sebastian took pleasure in tormenting her. Sebastian laughs maniacally. Murderer! You wicked woman! Disgrace of Edwin, beg me for mercy. Later, when her reactions became dull, he grew bored of the torment. Sebastian's gaze is ice cold. Honestly, I'm disappointed in you. He grabs Liliana's chin. Why don't you beg for help? Didn't I used to dote on you? If you cry and beg me, perhaps I'll take pity on you. Liliana's lips tremble. Tears slide down silently. She remains silent. Sebastian's fingers tighten. Liliana's eyes contain only emptiness. Sebastian's mouth twitches. He clicks his tongue impatiently. Then he roughly shoves Liliana's head away. He turns to the maids. How have you been taking care of this girl? The stench is unbearable. Give her a bath at once. He tosses a handkerchief on the ground and turns to leave. The maid responds respectfully. As you command, Your Highness. 2 years pass. He never comes again. The maid opens the cell door, her tone flat. Your Highness, time for your bath. A bucket of ice-cold water pours down, drenching Liliana completely. The wooden bucket rolls to the ground with a dull thud. The maid locks the cell door. She says coldly, rest in peace. Liliana lifts her dripping face and exhales deeply. Those curses and humiliations that once made me want to disappear, they're gradually losing their effect. She raises her hand to wipe the water from her face. Flames ignite in her green eyes, a cold awakening. I'll make him regret it. Regret letting me live. These 5 years I've often dreamed of climbing that staircase. What lies at the top? Even though I know there's nothing there, but I still want to witness it with my own eyes. I want to see the day when everyone I hate rots in hell. Water droplets tap against the stone walls. Liliana stands in the cell. The maid stands with her hands at her sides. Sebastian covers his nose and mouth with his fingers. You still smell terrible, though you have grown quite a bit. How irritating. Liliana lifts her head. It's been a while, Sebastian. After 3 years, you finally remembered me. Sebastian's face shows mockery. 3 years? You don't even call me brother anymore. Liliana gives a bitter smile. Brother? I have nothing now. Clinging to the next emperor is impossible now, isn't it? Sebastian furrows his brow. That's right, Jewel of Edwin. Even with your noble soul, you're nothing but a prisoner now. Those who loved you are all gone. But even after 5 years of imprisonment, you still shine with pride. Why? Sebastian's mother pours cold water over his head with a ladle. You're the one who looks like his majesty. So why does he only dote on that commoner and her child? You played happily with Liliana again, didn't you? Why betray me? Why can't I make her taste the suffering I've endured? Sebastian is soaked through, shivering. He says softly, Mother, I'm so cold. But Liliana is my sister. His mother flies into a rage. What sister? That's a child born of a commoner. That mother and daughter stole his majesty's love from me. Tears stream down her face. You still call her sister? I'm the only one who truly loves you. Everything I've done is for you. I lost his majesty's love, so you must love me. Do you hear me? Do you understand? Sebastian sobs. Yes, mother. Sebastian looks down at Liliana. You want to see the outside world, don't you? I've brought you good news. Your wish is about to come true. You should thank me. Liliana remains silent. Her gaze shows no emotion. Sebastian's hand touches Liliana's head. Do you hate me that much? I'm here to set you free. It seems you don't believe me. He turns to give orders to the maid. The Valhalla guards have arrived. Prepare the princess. Going out looking like this will disgrace the nation. The maid responds with her hands lowered. Yes, your highness. She hands him a handkerchief. Sebastian takes the handkerchief and wipes his hands. He reveals a twisted smile. You're finally free. Be happy. He reflects inwardly. Feel the despair. Feel the pain. Like my twisted, ugly life, I will crush even your faintest spark of hope. When you fall into true hell, I'll gladly become your brother again. Rain shrouds the city. A carriage travels through the rain, its banners soaked and drooping. Crowds gather in the rain, watching silently in their cloaks. Liliana sits in the carriage, wearing a hooded cloak, her expression dazed. Is this a dream? Her hands clasp tightly together. Does Felix really hate me? Sebastian raises his wine glass. As your brother, I must warn you, that country is darker than any prison. Felix was once a prince and hostage of an enemy nation. Now he's an emperor, a regicide. He once loved you more than anyone. If you hadn't betrayed that trust, he might have saved you. But now he seems to hate you even more than I do. Sebastian reveals a mocking smile. My dear sister, you're the one who turned him into a demon. Felix Huntington, Emperor of Valhalla. He killed his own father and all his brothers with his own hands. He climbed over the corpses of family and friends to ascend the throne. Sebastian's hand strokes Liliana's head. Your people have come to see you off. Stop looking so miserable. Be a good hostage. Show them Edwin's dignity, will you? Liliana sits in the carriage, her hands resting on her knees. She looks out the carriage window. Mother, father, Sister Victoria, and my beloved homeland, wait for me to return. An egg smashes against the carriage window, yolk splattering. The crowd roars in the rain. Traitor! Murderer! A cloaked figure points at the carriage. Betrayer! Fleeing to Valhalla won't change anything. A life for a life. Justice will prevail. You conspired with the enemy to murder your sister and gravely injured his majesty. Go to hell! Sebastian stands on the city wall, observing. His expression is pleased. Those who loved you no longer do. Do you like this parting gift? This is his majesty's mercy. A red-haired man stops beside the carriage, wearing a cloak with a long sword at his waist. He is Karl, commander of the Imperial Guards of Valhalla. Karl's gaze is sharp. Those who insult Princess Liliana, the Valhalla army will crush your country within 3 days. The crowd falls instantly silent. Fear fills everyone's faces. Karl continues. We will ensure the princess arrives safely in our nation. Liliana remains silent, her eyes sad and weary. Karl says to her, if you want to survive, forget who you once were. This is just advice. The convoy slowly starts moving. The carriage gradually leaves the city. 3 days later, night has fallen. A bonfire burns in the camp. Liliana sits inside the tent. Before her is a meal, a bowl of hot soup, a piece of bread, and a glass of red wine. Outside the tent, Knight's voices carry. The operation was nearly successful, yet His Majesty ordered a ceasefire for a murderer. What is he thinking? Perhaps His Majesty was betrayed by the princess. He wants to punish her. Maybe this makes him feel better. He was a hostage for 5 years, then imprisoned, then sold off. What a pitiful prince. Does His Majesty still care about her? Weren't they childhood friends? His Majesty's marriage has been arranged. Could it be Princess Liliana? Liliana's eyes sharpen. Felix is getting married? A memory flashes back. In a sunny courtyard, young Liliana smiles radiantly, wearing an elegant blue gown. Felix stands beside her. Liliana clutches her chest, her eyes filled with pain. Then when I see him again, what expression should I wear? Felix sits on horseback, looking down at the camp below. Commander Karl kneels on one knee. Your Majesty. Felix turns his face slightly. Escort the princess back to her residence. No need to bring her to see me, Karl says. Understood. I'll assign someone to care for her, Felix says coldly. A hostage. No need for kind treatment. I don't care whether she lives or dies. Karl returns to the camp. The guards shout in unison. The commander is back! Karl's gaze sweeps calmly over everyone. He walks straight toward Liliana's tent. Liliana sits at the table. She bows slightly. Commander Karl. Karl notices the untouched food on the table. You cannot waste food. Otherwise, His Majesty's mercy will be in vain. Liliana smiles. I'm not wasting it. I simply have no appetite. She reflects inwardly. Locked up like a stray dog for 5 whole years. The only thing to eat was moldy bread. My stomach is already ruined. Even if I eat, I'll surely vomit. As long as I don't starve to death, that's enough, she asks cautiously. Commander Karl, when we reach the capital, can I see Felix? Karl says with a serious expression. In our country, no one addresses His Majesty by name. Liliana lowers her head slightly. I understand, Karl continues. Do you think coming to Valhalla means escaping hell? This place is not forgiving. Without His Majesty's protection, it's nothing but a giant cage. Countless blood-red eyes watch from the darkness. Twisted faces weave together into an invisible web. You must live in silence. Don't walk into the trap. Peace will not come to you. Liliana responds softly. Yes, I understand. I'll be mindful of my position. A flicker of surprise crosses Carl's eyes. Is she putting on a brave face? He continues. The journey will resume soon. Please eat and rest early. His Majesty will not come to see you. Don't harbor any illusions. He then turns and leaves. After the tent flap falls, Liliana lets out a long sigh. She falls onto the soft bed. Her golden hair spreads across the luxurious bedding. She closes her eyes, feeling the texture of the silk sheets. All of this is thanks to Felix. Being able to escape that putrid dungeon. I'm already grateful. I should be content with this, but her hand moves to her chest. A trace of unwillingness wells up from the depths of her heart. Felix, why are you pushing me away? Tears slide from her eyes. Liliana curls up on the bed, murmuring, "It hurts so much, as if there's a hole in my heart." The next day, Liliana boards the carriage. Carl sits on horseback. He announces loudly, "We depart!" The carriage slowly starts moving. The axles creak. Liliana lowers her head, reflecting. I was the one who desperately wanted Felix to return home and reclaim his princely title. Sebastian and Commander Carl are both telling me to face reality. In these 5 years, Felix's and my positions have completely reversed. Felix looks at Liliana pleadingly. I want to stay by your side. I don't want to return home. Liliana says coldly, Duke Frederick has come to fetch you. This opportunity won't come again. Felix's expression darkens. Why don't you understand my heart? But Felix ultimately climbed up by himself. In his eyes, my actions were nothing but betrayal. Then why did he save me? Carl's sharp gaze flicks over. It seems this princess, after thinking all night, understands her current situation. That's good. This way, even in a foreign land, she can survive on her own. The convoy travels along a forest path. Carl rides forward. 15 years ago, Elliot stood beside an ornate carriage. He was the former commander of the Imperial Guards and Carl's father. Elliot extends his hand. Your Highness, please step down. Felix steps down from the carriage. He asks with downcast eyes. Mr. Elliot, can you accompany me into the city? Elliot says seriously, my duty only extends to escorting you to the city gate. A man wearing a monocle approaches with a beaming smile. Prince Felix, I am Theodore, Minister of Protocol of the Edwin Empire. I will guide you to meet His Majesty. Felix responds politely. All right. He follows Theodore forward. His figure disappears at the end of the red carpet. Theodore presents a scroll. Your Majesty, this is a personal letter from the Emperor of Valhalla. Emperor Reginald of the Edwin Empire sits on his ornate throne, examining the letter. It reads, I offer my son Felix, born of the Queen, to consolidate the friendship between our two nations. A trace of contempt flashes through Reginald's eyes. For a trading port, he actually sells out his own son. What a respectable father. He lifts his head and looks toward the center of the hall. How pitiful. Felix stands there alone. He looks as if he might cry at any moment. Liliana lifts her head curiously. Papa, who is that big sister? Reginald corrects her with a smile. That's not a big sister. That's a big brother. He'll be staying with us for a while. Liliana has a sudden realization. Oh, okay. She shakes off Sebastian's hand. Sebastian freezes for a moment. Liliana runs straight toward Felix, calling out, Big brother! She excitedly grabs Felix's hand. My name is Liliana. What's your name? Felix seems somewhat dazed. I'm Felix. Liliana's eyes sparkle. Felix, you're so pretty, just like a doll. Let's play together. Felix silently retorts in his mind. You're the one who looks like a doll. But he then reveals a gentle smile. All right. The two walk hand in hand toward the bright doorway. Felix opens the locket and gazes at Liliana's portrait. I've repaid my debt. From now on, you're on your own. He then places the locket in a drawer. Dawn breaks faintly. The horizon glows with soft gold. A mansion appears in the thin mist. Liliana's weary eyes look out the window. The carriage stops before a Gothic-style building. The iron gate is tightly shut. The courtyard is silent and empty. Carl pulls on the reins, his gaze sharp. We've arrived. Please step down. Liliana steps out of the carriage with her head lowered. Carl says, By His Majesty's command, I must return to the palace immediately. Liliana bows slightly. Commander Carl, thank you. Carl gazes at her silently. He then turns his face away. This is my duty. Liliana turns around and walks toward the mansion's entrance, surrounded by several guards. Carl observes her from horseback. She seems terrifyingly compliant. He then turns his horse around and disappears alone into the morning sunlight. Liliana stands before the door. A guard hands her a wooden box. He speaks. Inside are keys and 3 months' allowance. Please accept it. We'll be going now. Liliana accepts the box. Yes, thank you for your help. The three turn and leave. Liliana lowers her eyelids. Her green eyes reveal no emotion. She opens the wooden box. Inside is a bag of coins and several cold keys. The interior is modestly furnished. The fireplace is cold. This must be His Majesty's grace as well. On a tree branch, 2 men look down at the mansion. The man with a high ponytail asks, His Majesty intends for the princess to live here? The short-haired man grins. Not bad. It's better than prison, at least. Night falls. The mansion is brightly lit. Stars twinkle. A man drinks coffee. Blackwood is indeed quite remote, the long-haired man says with certainty, of course, Lord Valentine. Building a house in such a rural place? His Majesty must truly detest the princess. Valentine sits in an armchair. You're all too naive. The long-haired man looks at him in confusion. Valentine places his cup back on the table with a crisp sound. The short-haired man steps forward. Lord Valentine, doesn't this plan backfire? Handing a criminal to His Majesty isn't exactly good. Valentine gazes into the distance hands through the window lattice. The criminal you speak of is just what outsiders say. The blonde man continues. Blackwood has a summer palace. Having her stay there must have another reason. The short-haired man looks worried. Saying such things, he must be very lonely. Valentine spreads his hands and asks, would he mobilize the Imperial Guards for an unimportant princess? Armies at the border. I thought war was finally coming. I've already investigated thoroughly. Our reserved majesty is simply too embarrassed to see her. The Emperor and the princess are childhood friends. They grew up together. Valentine closes his eyes, a mysterious smile curving at his lips. It's not just simple resentment. It's love turned to hate. He loves the princess deeply. The two men freeze instantly, in shock. Valentine continues, all right. Proceed as planned tonight. Under the moonlight, Liliana stands at the window and closes it. The two men return to the tree outside the window. The long-haired man whispers, she's sleeping soundly. The short-haired man shows disdain. That greedy Valentine wants her all to himself, so he wants to kill her. The long-haired man looks worried. Big brother, will his majesty really be pleased? The short-haired man asks back. Have you ever seen his majesty smile happily? The long-haired man shakes his head. No. The short-haired man says calmly, we're just hired thugs. If something goes wrong, Sir Valentine will take responsibility. Just in case, we'll hide immediately after getting paid, the long-haired man says admiringly. Big brother, you're amazing! The short-haired man looks toward the window. The sleeping drug should take effect soon. Let's go! A long sword cuts through the window. The two men climb in through the window. Liliana lies quietly on the bed, her golden hair cascading like a waterfall. Her breathing is steady. She sleeps soundly. The two men's shadows loom over her. Princess, please forgive us. Under the moonlight, the palace stands with towering spires piercing the night sky, silent and majestic. A maid with her hair in a bun stands by the bath, her expression solemn, holding a red bathrobe. Felix suddenly lifts his head in the bath. Water splashes. His short black hair is soaked. Water droplets slide down his broad back. The maid drapes the bathrobe over Felix. Felix dries his hair. Emily, wake me an hour earlier tomorrow. He turns and walks toward the door. You may leave. Emily bows slightly. Yes, your majesty. Felix suddenly senses something. Who's there? Liliana lies on the floor, her golden hair covering her face. Felix draws a longsword from nearby. He brushes aside the long hair covering Liliana's face. After seeing her face clearly, Felix's pupils dilate sharply. Felix slowly walks forward. Each step is unbearably heavy. The sword slips from his hand and clatters to the ground. He slowly kneels. He gazes at Liliana's frail body. His eyes are filled with pain. He then reaches out with trembling hands and touches Liliana's cheek. Liliana opens her eyes. Her green pupils are filled with exhaustion. She looks at the dim room with a confused expression. She then slowly sits up, her gaze sweeping the surroundings. Her gaze stops on a silhouette in the shadows. Felix sits in a chair, his figure outlined by candlelight. Liliana's body stiffens abruptly. Her pupils contract sharply. She sees Felix's face clearly. She calls out trembling, "Brother!" Felix remains silent. Liliana realizes something. She lowers her head and says, "Your Majesty." Felix slowly speaks. His voice is terrifyingly low. "Princess!" He stands up. His tall figure casts a shadow. He walks silently toward the bed. Felix stops before the bed. The atmosphere is heavy and oppressive. Liliana's eyes are filled with fear. "I apologize." Felix freezes for a moment. Liliana gets off the bed. Her voice is filled with confusion. "Why am I in your Majesty's chambers? I didn't mean to disturb your rest. Please forgive me." Felix's voice is ice cold and clear. "That's not what I want to hear. Did you want to see me that badly? Do you think our relationship is still the same as before?" In Liliana's mind, Felix's past words resurface. "As long as you hug me first, I can hug you too. Or are you going to push me away again?" A flicker of panic crosses her eyes. "That's not what I meant." Felix lets out a derisive laugh. "Because of my shallowness, you've changed. If you misunderstood me, I can't help it. I don't know who brought you here, but for a foreign princess to use such suspicious tricks." Liliana lowers her head. "Felix, if insulting me makes you feel better." Felix's gaze becomes sharp. "Don't call me brother. It disgusts me." Liliana turns around. "Please forgive me." She reflects inwardly. "I should have remembered Commander Carl's advice. Just because Felix called my name, I unconsciously held onto a sliver of hope." Felix steps forward. Step by step, he approaches. He looks down at Liliana. "Do you think by putting on this pitiful act, I'll be swayed by emotion?" His hand suddenly grabs Liliana's chin, forcing her to look up. "I'm disappointed. It seems 5 years of imprisonment taught you nothing." With that, he pushes her backward. Liliana falls onto the soft bed. Her eyes widen in alarm. Felix leans down. "Are you unhappy? Because your former hostage gave you such a humble house, you resort to these despicable means to get my attention? You no longer have anything of the Edwin Empire left in you. You've lost everything, just like I did in the past. You're about to drown. People should desperately grasp at any lifeline. Don't be so stubborn. Say something. Liliana's voice is hollow. What should I say? I'm already hated by you anyway. A little more doesn't matter. I'm tired. Felix's lips curve slightly. For the sake of our past, I can fulfill any wish you have, even give you the love you crave. His hand touches Liliana's hand. After all, in those miserable 10 years, you were the only one who called me brother. You were the only one who treated me like a human being, weren't you? Liliana lies quietly. She shows no reaction. I'm tired, Felix continues. I can even make you the most noble woman in the Empire. Liliana recalls Sebastian's words. As long as you wish it, I'll give you everything. Honor, wealth, the people's adoration. I'll return everything you've lost. Liliana finally speaks. You all want to conquer me. What exactly did I do to you? What do you want from me? I have no intention of bringing up the past. Even if I was a shameful person who hurt all of you, isn't the punishment I've received enough? She sits up, forcing a smile onto her face. Being released from prison is already a happiness I don't deserve. I'll never forget your Majesty's great kindness. What do you mean by asking? What more I want? She gets off the bed barefoot and stands on the cold carpet. If your Majesty doesn't wish for me to serve, then I'll take my leave. She lifts her skirt and slowly curtsies. She then walks out of the chamber. Felix sits on the edge of the bed with his head lowered. He looks at his empty hand, as if her warmth still lingers there. He raises his hand to cover his face, his fingers sinking deep into his black hair. What am I even doing? The vast corridor is brightly lit. Liliana walks barefoot. Guards turn their heads, their gazes filled with shock and confusion. Whispers spread. A woman who came out of His Majesty's chamber? Liliana stops walking and leans against the cold wall. Her body slowly slides down. She curls up into a ball. Tears fall silently. I'm such a fool. A group of attendants continue whispering. Coming out of His Majesty's room, she truly has no sense of propriety. Emily gives a sharp glance. The attendants immediately fall silent. Emily holds a candlestick, illuminating the corridor ahead. She orders expressionlessly, continue your patrol. The attendants respond in unison. Yes. Emily knocks on Felix's door. Your Majesty, have you retired for the night? Felix peers out from the crack in the door. What is it? Emily lowers her gaze. I've come to escort the princess. Many knights are watching. If anything happens to the princess and word reaches the nobles, your Majesty's position will be in danger. Felix listens expressionlessly. His hand grips the door frame tightly. I'll leave it to you then. The door slowly closes. Emily walks away slowly, holding the candlestick. She furrows her brow. Good grief. Felix stands alone in the darkness. 5 years have turned us into strangers. You're so close yet so far away. You were once like the blazing sun, but you're also the one who best at hurting me. Liliana stands before the crowd in a red dress and announces to Felix, I reject your confession. Did you truly believe a princess would choose a hostage? My engagement to Duke Nicholas is already decided. I apologize for the misunderstanding. I'm doing perfectly fine without you. Felix covers his forehead, his expression pained. I've been wounded more than once. Even so, I still pulled you back from hell. All I want is for you to bow your head and admit your fault. What will it take to make you kneel? Emily hurries after her. Princess, please wait. Liliana stops. She looks at the woman before her. Who are you? Emily bows slightly. I am Emily, a court lady. Liliana nods. Good evening, Lady Emily. She recalls Felix once mentioning her. My mother had been too ill to raise me. My nanny Emily stayed with me through it all. I wonder how she's doing. We'll see each other again, won't we? Unexpectedly, she looks stern, but her voice is gentle. Emily says, His Majesty sent me to escort you. A flicker of confusion crosses Liliana's eyes. Emily places a pair of shoes beside Liliana. His Majesty prepared these. The size might be a bit large. Please forgive that. Liliana puts on the shoes. Thank you so much. Why would His Majesty do this? I clearly rejected him, Emily says calmly. These are His Majesty's exact words. After returning to his country, His Majesty went through much hardship, so his temperament has become rather impatient. Your Highness, please don't take it to heart. Liliana falls into deep thought. Hard times. I've been through them too. Can human suffering really be compared? I truly don't understand what he's thinking. He's like a stranger. Emily guides her down the stairs. Princess, please don't be upset. Liliana responds quietly. Yes, I deserve to be cursed at. Besides, I'm already used to bearing all kinds of emotions. Emily is somewhat surprised. Has it really been like that? A knight pulls on the reins. He dismounts. Lady Emily, are you here to see me off? Emily bows slightly. Good evening, Count Adrian. Adrian looks at Liliana with curiosity. Who is this? Emily introduces her. This is Princess Liliana. The smile vanishes from Adrian's face. His gaze sharpens. Is that so? He drapes a cloak over Liliana's shoulders. Why did you run out in sleepwear? Liliana looks up at him, confusion filling her eyes. Adrian gently touches her hair. Go home quickly. He turns to Emily. Has His Majesty retired? Emily says, not yet. Adrian's smile widens. He definitely can't sleep. I've come with good news, though it's past midnight. I rode hard to report our victory. He turns to leave. The carriage has arrived. Escort the princess. Emily bows. Understood, she says to Liliana. Count Adrian is like that. A tireless model knight. Even His Majesty can't do anything about him. She turns to lead the way. This way. I'll take you to the carriage. Everything will be all right? Liliana responds softly. Yes. Emily closes the carriage door. Good night, princess. Liliana forces a smile. Good night. The carriage slowly pulls away. Emily watches it go. Winter looks like it will be very long. She turns and lets out a long sigh. In the woods, Moonlight falls cold. Two men lean against tree trunks, breathing hard. The short-haired man speaks. Lord Matthew's prediction was wrong. The long-haired man agrees. Let's deliver this unfortunate news. Retreat? Under the night sky, the mansion blazes with light. A man stands indoors. The short-haired man reports, His Majesty didn't let the princess stay overnight. Lady Emily sent her away. The long-haired man crosses his arms. Yes, don't worry. None of us were caught. Matthew bows his head in thought. Is that so? He picks up his teacup and takes a sip. Couldn't get them to stay together? We'll need another approach. A smile curves at the corner of his mouth. The plan succeeded. The two men exchange bewildered glances, completely confused. What do you mean? Matthew sets down his teacup. He stands. Daniel, have you ever been in love? The short-haired man Daniel freezes. Not yet. Matthew turns to the long-haired man. Thomas, what about you? Thomas smiles shyly. Are you going to introduce me to a girl? Matthew places his hands on both their shoulders. Since the coronation, have you ever heard of any woman leaving His Majesty's bedchamber and personally escorted away by Lady Emily, no less? This is unprecedented, of course. In other words, the princess is someone special to His Majesty. The two men look utterly confused. Daniel lowers his head, analyzing. But the princess looks so dejected. She must have been told something harsh. Isn't it just because she's a foreign princess that His Majesty hasn't executed her? He's simply annoyed by her. Matthew closes his eyes. You're wrong. The deeper the resentment, the stronger the love. It's the spice of a mad romance. I'm experienced in this area, practically an expert. He spreads his arms and laughs aloud. Princess Liliana is our lucky star. The trade monopoly rights are mine. We'll continue watching. When necessary, we'll protect her. Let's wait for the next opportunity. Liliana ties on an apron. Anyway, I'll be living here for a while. I need to shift my mindset first. She picks up a broom from the backyard. A smile appears on her face. First, start with cleaning. I also need to save money. Once I get everything sorted, I'll look for work. I need money and connections to leave this place. I must let the people of Edwin know the truth. No matter what, I have to clear up this misunderstanding. She sweeps vigorously, dust rising. Father, mother, I haven't given up. Please be proud of me. She wipes down the table and lets out a long sigh. She looks out through the clean window. A boy in overalls stands at the gate carrying a basket of red items. Liliana opens the door. Who are you? The boy hands her the basket. My mom says this is for you. Liliana looks at the tomatoes in the basket, somewhat surprised. For me? The boy pushes the basket into her arms. Yes, for you. Liliana quickly thanks him. Ah, thank you. The boy huffs and turns to run off. Liliana watches the boy's retreating figure, puzzled. A neighbor? She holds the basket. I'll go thank them after I finish cleaning. Hoofbeats echo on the cobblestone road. Three men ride past on horseback and spot Liliana standing in the distance. Adrian speaks. Isn't that Princess Liliana over there? I saw her at the city gate last night in her sleepwear. I was worried she'd catch a cold. Carl looks puzzled. What? In sleepwear? Liliana holds the basket, a gentle smile on her face. She turns and walks toward her house. Carl glances at Felix beside him. Did your majesty intentionally take this route to the summer palace? In the study, Felix rests his head on his hand. He speaks. Thanks to your warning, the princess has recognized her situation. I thank you on her behalf. Carl looks confused. His majesty's words and expression are completely opposite. He's furious. Adrian suddenly speaks. Your Majesty, I just remembered something. Please go ahead. He orders the guards. Guard His Majesty closely. The guard responds, yes, sir. Carl thinks to himself, His Majesty doesn't need my escort. I feel like if I stay any longer, His Majesty will stab me to death. Adrian smiles at Felix. I'll catch up right away. Don't worry. Felix commands expressionlessly, Carl, let's go. Carl answers, yes, Your Majesty. Adrian waves behind them. See you later, then. The hoofbeats fade away, leaving only Adrian. Adrian approaches Liliana and bows. Did your highness sleep well last night? Liliana holds the basket. Count Adrian, thank you for your concern. She lowers her eyes. I'm no longer a princess. Please call me by my name, Liliana. Or Lily is fine too. Count Adrian smiles. Then from now on, I'll call you Lily. There will be a banquet at Blackwood Summer Palace. He holds out a letter. Take this. Liliana grips the basket tightly. With my current status, I can't attend a banquet. Adrian says, if you don't come, I'll lend you that cloak forever. Liliana explains urgently. I'll bring it over right away. Adrian says, I'm very busy today. I have many things to do. He tucks the letter into the basket. That cloak is what I wear. To victory. He mounts his horse. Bringing it back to me in person is proper etiquette, isn't it? He rides away. I'll keep waiting until you come. The hoofbeats fade into the distance. Liliana looks down at the letter in the basket, lost in thought. Count Adrian rides to catch up with the group. I'm back. He asks Felix with a smile. Your Majesty, what color gown do you think would suit Lily? How about pure white? It would make her golden hair stand out more. Felix's expression darkens. Count Adrian continues. Should I send her a necklace too? To match her star-like eyes? I heard your Majesty used to weave flower crowns for her when you were young. Is that true? She must have been adorable as a child. After going through so much hardship, she's still beautiful as a doll. I've already given her the invitation. She just arrived here. She probably doesn't have a gown. Carl watches Felix's grim expression, anxious inside. Count Adrian, you're going to get yourself killed. Stop talking. And using a nickname for the princess. Isn't that too soon? Count Adrian raises a finger, because she reminds me of my sister who's around the same age. By the way, I happen to be looking for a match lately. A knight's duty is to be captivated by elegant, lovely princesses. Plus, I just won a battle, so I have time. Felix falls silent. Do as you please. He dismounts and walks toward the palace in the distance, his retreating figure resolute. Adrian makes a victory gesture. Really? On a disheveled bed lies an open black gift box with a letter beside it and a red ribbon hanging down. Inside the box is a necklace set with gorgeous jewels and a gown. Liliana sits on the edge of the bed, her golden hair disheveled. Her gaze is hollow as she stares at the gifts and letter before her. At her 15th birthday ball, dancing with Felix feels like it happened ages ago. Sebastian stood in the crowd, his expression desolate. He didn't smile that day. Liliana's hand brushes over the gift box. Lord Adrian lent me the cloak and even sent a gown. We've only known each other for a few days. She lies on the bed, but Adrian seems straightforward. He doesn't seem like a bad person. Her thoughts drift. Does anyone in this world truly show kindness without a reason? She thinks of her family. Faces flash by, smiling, cold, calculating. They were once her entire world. I used to believe that kindness from family was natural, simply because we were family. But that innocence has long been shattered. I've lost everything. What can I even do now? Liliana lies on the bed with her eyes closed, tears silently sliding down. Father, mother. Daniel and Thomas eavesdrop outside the door. Daniel whispers in surprise. Whoa, is the princess crying? The two exchange nervous glances. Thomas asks, should we retreat? Daniel nods. Retreat. The next morning, Liliana walks out of the mansion alone and stands before the closed white gate. The boy in the hat from that day approaches her, looking a bit nervous. Hello? Liliana turns around. Hello, what's your name? The boy says softly, I'm Oliver. Are you going out? Liliana nods. Yes. Oliver raises his hand. Please don't take the back alleys. There are many vagrants over there. After saying this, he quickly turns to leave. I'm going now. A flicker of determination crosses Liliana's eyes. Yes. When I get back, I'll visit Oliver's house. The smile fades from her face, her expression growing complicated. But if they knew I'm Edwin's prisoner, would they still speak to me like this? She shakes her head sharply. Why am I being pessimistic again? Sebastian is the villain here. At a grand white palace, guests walk up the stone steps toward the entrance. A young woman with pink hair, dressed in an elaborate gown, says to the man beside her, Tell father I'll be home late tonight. The man shakes his head. Miss Isabella, the count will worry. Isabella gently waves her fan. Father should learn to let go. Once I get married, I'll only be able to visit occasionally. I'll persuade him. Isabella is surrounded by friends, smiling. I'm dressed so beautifully. Lord Adrian will surely notice me, won't he? I'm an only child. My parents' love is all mine. You have sisters. You have to share your parents' expectations. She clenches her fists, a blush rising to her face. I can definitely do this. He'll be captivated by me. A lady cups her face in her hands, her eyes full of hearts. Lord Adrian looks even more masculine than the last time I saw him. Adrian walks toward the crowd. Isabella spins around sharply, her heart racing. Is he coming this way? Oh my, what do I do? She nervously smooths her skirt. I've been preparing for today for so long. But finally, I can get closer to Lord Adrian. Adrian walks straight past Isabella. Isabella freezes in place, utterly confused. Why? Her companions gather around. What happened? He must have made a mistake. Adrian approaches Liliana. Isabella glares at her. Who is that woman? Liliana holds out the cloak. I came to return this. Adrian takes the cloak. Thank you. I appreciate it. He glances at Liliana's clothing. She didn't wear the gown I sent. She really must hate banquets. Isabella stands frozen. I dressed up so carefully, yet I was ignored. A companion behind her says, That's the Princess of Edwin, isn't it? A blue-haired young woman looks puzzled. Do you know her? The woman explains. My brother is a colleague of Lord Carl's. He's heard descriptions of the princess. The blue-haired girl realizes. I see, but her outfit is so shabby. I don't know why His Majesty hasn't abandoned her yet. Is it really necessary to use treasury funds to host her? She's the daughter of that woman, the one who stole the Emperor's favor from the Queen, a cold-blooded villainess who murdered her own family. The guests continue whispering. Look, she's already started seducing Lord Adrian. Isabella's expression sours. She mutters, that rumored murderer. Adrian must only be entertaining her on orders. Liliana curtsies to Adrian. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave. Adrian reaches out and grabs her wrist. Wait. Isabella stands frozen. He grabbed her hand. Impossible. No one has ever held my hand. Adrian holds Liliana. I have something to say. Come with me. Liliana looks bewildered. What's happening? She wants to break free and go home, but his grip is strong. I can't offend him. She looks around. What do I do? Everyone's watching me. Isabella clenches her fists. I won't lose. I'm the heiress of House Montrose. I'm the one who's perfect for Lord Adrian. The women of House Montrose always get what they want no matter what. You, princess of an enemy kingdom, prepare to fall. A carriage stops. Carl stands by the door. Your Majesty, we've arrived. Felix steps down from the carriage. Dressed in a splendid military uniform, he sweeps a stern gaze across the scene ahead. He enters the banquet plaza. The surrounding guests instantly fall silent and bow in respect. Carl watches the scene and sighs softly. His Majesty merely appears and the entire hall freezes. Felix's gaze sweeps over the crowd. His eyes lock onto a specific direction. Adrian is pulling Liliana by the wrist, walking forward. Felix's gaze instantly turns ice cold. He stares at that gripped hand, fury gathering between his brows. Adrian stands before Liliana. What I'm about to say is important. Carl suddenly approaches them, interrupting their conversation. Lord Adrian, His Majesty awaits you in the study on the second floor. Adrian turns. I'll go once I finish talking with her. Carl says, His Majesty wants you to come immediately. Adrian has no choice but to instruct Liliana. Don't go home before I return. I'm not joking, Liliana says softly. Yes. Adrian turns and leaves. Carl says to Liliana, Your Highness, if you don't mind, could we talk in another room? Liliana answers softly, Yes, I don't mind. The two then leave side by side. Isabella stands in the crowd, watching the direction Liliana left. Her gaze gradually sharpens. Lord Adrian, I'll make you see that woman's true colors. Carl stands by the door, gesturing. Please, come in. Wait inside. Liliana turns to look at him, a trace of confusion in her eyes. Carl turns to leave. Liliana quickly speaks up. Didn't you say you had something to discuss? Why are you leaving? She reflects. I know I'm unwelcome, but being ignored like this is a first. Though I don't seem that upset. Have I grown stronger? What does he really want to talk about? Nothing more than warning me to behave, right? She looks around the room. This royal chamber really isn't a pleasant place. The windows are so high. It's practically a dungeon. Her hand rests on the armrest. Thanks to Sebastian and his underlings, she's learned to read people. The twitch of a lip, the subtle wrinkles at the corners of eyes. No matter how slight, she can see through everyone's inner thoughts. She lowers her eyelids, a bitter smile emerging. Have I transformed from a naive, foolish princess into a slightly smarter hostage? Isabella rushes through the corridor. Damn it, is this a maze? I was too careless. I lost them. I have no idea which architect designed this. The layout is too complicated. She looks around anxiously. Where are you? At the end of the corridor, a figure disappears onto the second floor balcony. Isabella's eyes light up. She smirks triumphantly. Found you! She lifts her skirt and hurries after them. Taking a detour won't help you. They went into a room. So it really is a secret meeting. That woman is really seducing Lord Carl. She tiptoes closer to the door. A calculating smile curves at her lips. I won't let her leave. I'll make Lord Adrian see her shameless behavior. She wedges her fan into the door latch. Then she covers her mouth, snickering. I absolutely won't tolerate this seductress. She immediately dashes away. Liliana sits on the sofa. Seeing Felix enter, confusion fills her face. She quickly composes herself, stands and curtsies. Your Majesty, Felix's gaze is ice cold. Are you disappointed it's me? He continues interrogating. Why do you look so dejected the moment you see me? You seemed happy when that boy gave you the basket. Liliana bows slightly. That's not it. I just heard from Lord Carl that you had something to discuss. Felix says, I summoned you, so the person you need to talk to is me. Liliana is confused. Didn't we settle things that night? He asks, what are your intentions? Felix approaches her. Today, I want to have a proper talk. He reflects. You look thin. Did Sebastian not take care of you properly? Liliana turns her head. What do you want to talk about? She considers. Should I tell him why I pushed him away back then? Felix suddenly asks, what is your relationship with Adrian? Liliana's body stiffens. What are you talking about? Felix moves closer. He called you by a nickname, in front of me, and gave you an invitation. When did you two become so intimate? Liliana freezes. She thought they wouldn't talk about the past anymore, but she never expected to be interrogated like this now. Felix speaks coldly. I don't know who brought you here, but a foreign princess using such suspicious tactics? Do you think acting pitiful will make me waver and embrace you? That was 5 years ago. Recognize your current status? That night was the same. Even before then, he was already looking at me with those cold eyes. Back then, anyone who saw me would have thought I was a despicable woman. No matter what I say, he probably won't believe me anymore. Felix's gaze darkens. Do you think silence will let you escape the question? I want you to refute me like you did back then. Young Liliana once said to Felix, Felix, I only had tea with Nicholas. You're overthinking this. I'm not a 5-year-old child anymore. I'll make my own decisions. Liliana lowers her eyelids. I won't run away, but I have no obligation to answer that question. Felix's hand grips the armrest. As Emperor of the Valhalla Empire, I command you to answer now. What is your relationship with Adrian? Liliana's head snaps up, her eyes burning with fury. This is none of your Majesty's business. What right do you have to bind me? I pushed you away to free you from your status as a hostage. No matter how I'm misunderstood, I've endured it. But she doesn't say these words aloud. Felix looks down at her. None of my business? Have you forgotten who saved you? Liliana turns her face away. I haven't forgotten. I'm genuinely grateful for your great kindness, but I never asked for help. Must I report everything to you? Felix suddenly grabs her shoulders. Were your words and actions 5 years ago sincere? Liliana's eyes fill with tears. Yes. Insulting you, mocking you? All of it was sincere. You want to say that a vicious woman deserves punishment, don't you? If 5 years of imprisonment isn't enough, then please punish me yourself. Felix stares at her in silence. Liliana glances at him. Are you done venting? Satisfied now? Felix speaks calmly. Adrian is our nation's most outstanding knight, and you are the princess of the Edwin Kingdom. I want to confirm whether you're undermining my knight's loyalty. Liliana clutches her stomach. Your Majesty, please let me out. My stomach hurts. She walks past Felix. Rest assured, I have neither the courage nor the leisure for romance. Felix tries the door. He says, the latch seems to be stuck, but Carl should return soon. He looks toward Liliana beside him. His pupils contract sharply. Liliana clutches her stomach and collapses heavily to the floor.